Hey, we're live over here. This is a test show. This is a test show. We might actually keep it for a little while, but it is the Labor Day weekend over here, and of course everyone is uh, busy doing something else. But of course, me, what am I doing? I'm over here doing this instead, and I roped in my daughter to do it too. How about it? But actually, the true story is we're helping figure out all these bumpers and just making sure we have the pieces over here. So I'm like looking at the show. Where am I set up? I think that my video probably shouldn't be there on the screen, but then of course I filled out the whole screen. Let me unfill the screen. That's what it looks like, but let me fill the screen again. We'll creatively probably put our pictures in the proper place, but we'll probably be up there for now. Pretend we're up there. Okay, I'm going to pretend I'm talking about something cloudy. Hey, yeah. Actually, no, this is not pretend. This is actually my virtual marathon site, generated from the virtual marathon site. Something you can do in GitHub. So take somebody else's item over here and make it your own. And basically, our M365 Chicago 2020 site over here. That was 2020 when we first created, so I called it 2020. I should have actually just called it M365 Chicago. But this is actually the website, so I can actually do work in here, right? So I have the code, and I can actually work on it in Git. I can Visual Studio work on it, do PRs and all that stuff. But the key over here, let's see, let's look at these settings. There's a repository, other things to manage access. So these are not just the only settings. Let's take a look. What other we have? Webhooks, anything special? Nothing here. Notifications. Oh, nope, that's not what we care about. Integrations, nothing special going on here. Action secrets pages. Here we go. Pages. This is the key. I'd like to show off GitHub Pages. You have to pay $4 a month for this ability, at least. Or if you have a higher level GitHub, you can have it. But for $4 a month, I'm essentially hosting my website on GitHub, and I have all the power of development in here. I can do the pull requests. I can have staging. I can have approvals and everything else. And as you can see, source to master, I can choose a theme. I can set up my custom theme right here. We have M365 Chicago. It's updating that information over here. I can enforce HTTPS. Hey, why isn't this enforced? Let me go and enforce it. I could have sworn I'd saved that already.
Uh,
That's actually good that I did that.
I have a question real fast,
Yeah.
since this is
Yes, go
concerning
ahead.
websites. So I currently have a domain of my own, but I don't have like really a website or anything for it, and it's through I bought my domain on GoDaddy, so like could I
Yes.
potentially put it on here?
In fact, that's where this comes from. This is a GoDaddy domain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so all I have to do over here is I had to, and right now the reason why it won't save this, that enforces HTTPS thing, the reason why it's unchecked, it's supposed to be checked, and according to this, it is checked, and there's a check marks. Right now, it's actually trying to talk to GoDaddy and get the information from GoDaddy so I can make changes. Until that shows up, I can't really make any changes to this right now. So here's what you do: you would set this up in GitHub, pay your $4 because you have to basically have a place for the code. And in my case, I have, let me go back to the code. See that? Web pages, HTML, simple, right? I have actually scripts in here. What else do I have in here? I have images, CSS files, resource files, help files, everything. All this is just a regular, it's a website. It's all here. It's not sitting in GoDaddy, all right? But it's actually up here. And thanks to this thing, this called Pages, published to the internet. See, that's the DNS check. That's still going on right now.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Now it's checked. Now I can do stuff that needs to be. Oh, no, I want it checked. Hey, I thought wasn't it checked? There we go. Check. I don't have the save button over here, but I think it's because it's supposed to be in there. But it's supposed to be. We had a check mark over there earlier.
I guess it's checking again.
Right. Well, here's the thing. You know what this enforced HTTPS means? It means that every time someone comes to your site, it will automatically go to HTTPS. And why do you want to do that? Because you'll see browsers, especially new ones. If you have a site that's not HTTPS, it'll say, hey, this is not a secure site. And then sometimes it won't even let you go there without clicking on this and that. Or some companies won't even let you go there at all, period. You can't do it. You're done. So in this case, it's trying to update it. I'm probably waiting for it to update. Your site is published. All right. And then, of course, I could publish privately only to certain people. This one you got to pay for. It's an extra charge to the GitHub pages. But yes, this would be your way to do it. As long as you have a domain, you can get it going.
So for that other part that's for the payable one, is that to have other people attach to the website to make changes or?
So if I do this and I have such a thing like this, and I would go ahead and share this editing to other people, as you can see in settings, look at this, manage access. Oh, hold on a second. Does it remember? Yeah, thank you. It's for, see that? I can add collaborators.
Oh, okay. So the collaborate. Okay.
Yeah, I can add you, for example, on here. And then you can come in GitHub. You would go to the code right over here, and you can make changes. And then you would go and do what's called a pull request that says, hey, I made changes. I'm pulling the code, and I'm requesting that I make a change to it. And then it'll go through the process of somebody going to approve it, which in my case, I own it. So it'll be me. I can, of course, change that process or however I want. Um, and I can do fancy stuff with it, like, hey, as soon as he updates it, be sure to update the date of the year or whatever, things like that. If I wanted to, a whole bunch of stuff can happen like that. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And this is the result. All right, the result is everything you're seeing in here is in that code right over there. In fact, let's go see. Maybe I can make a little itty bitty change. Maybe not necessarily from here. Actually, I would do that from Visual Studio. From here, for example, here it is. This is that same code that you saw over there,
Mm-hmm.
right? So all I did in code, I went over here and I said, I got this. I copied this. I cloned this site. I brought it down. So here, down over here, I have a cloned version of this site. Down over here. Let me show you what the clone looks like. Send in the clones. Send in the clones. Hold on. Let me go to this directory right over here so you see what it looks like. My uh hey. Cancel. It's not what I wanted. I wanted to copy this. Control C. And let me do a CLS over here and Control V. I'm going to do CD to go there. All right. So you see how it says there's a number and origin. See that? I'm in a what's called a branch. So I can make, I'll say there's different coders. We can make our own branches. We're doing different work. We can make our own branches and all stuff. And in this case, I'm in this branch, and whatever I do needs to be pushed to the origin or the original piece over here. So this is telling me right now that I'm in my state. I'm over here. So I'm going to go look at this over here, and maybe I'm going to make an update. Let's go look at maybe the main page, right? Where's index?
So the next thing I need to learn is how to code.
How to code? Well, not really. All you have to do is know how to type. So, for example, here's the main page. Let's look at the main page over here, what it looks like now, just to see if this works, right? So it says there, the June 4th conference is done, but we are not. Stay tuned on here on our social media. I do believe we put our, did we put our videos here somewhere? Um, Hold on a second. Aha. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add, that's what I'm going to do. So we go to YouTube over here. And let me go to find the YouTube. I'm here in YouTube. I'm going to look for M365 Chicago. And here's our channel. And I'm going to copy this link. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm going to put that here in my content. So let me go back to the code. Let's find a good place for it. Somewhere up here. Am I in the right place? Index, yes. So let me first, I'm going to change my view to say, so toggle word wrap. I could have just done Alt C, but there it is. Oh, there's the channel already. I wonder if that, I want to make sure it's the same channel. Okay. So I did the channel is here. I see that. No, that's the children first. Hold on a second. So Enbridge Drive, blah, 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 blah. Nope, it's up here. Replaying live at our YouTube channel. So I'm just going to make sure that the YouTube channel is the correct YouTube channel. So I'm just going to quickly paste it over here. Does that look the same? Yes, it looks exactly the same.
Yeah,
so it does say live stream at our YouTube channel. So let me go see what's going on. And live stream at our, oh, because it's purple. See that purple?
Oh, okay.
I'm going to change that. I'm going to make that, maybe I'm going to make that text at our YouTube channel. And I'm going to do some fancy CSS here. I'm going to do span. And inside this span, and let's close the span right after the, yep, right over here. And what I'm going to do is on screen, just basically to demonstrate code. Normally you would use a class like this. See this class? And I would say, let's style. Let's see if I remember style. Did it do an equal sign? Equal? Quotes? Okay, the style will be font size. Larger. So it's going to be a little bit larger than the font that came beforehand. All right. So now I'm going to save it. All right. And you'll see that over here, I have, in this particular code, I have a source control checker that says it's in here. So I'm going to say, make YouTube more prominent. All right. So that's what I'm doing. I hit check and now it's in there. And now I'll go back over here to my code and let me go to pull requests over here and find out if there's a change. And is there a new pull request out there? Hold on. I'm looking. It should have done it. Let me go make sure that it was. Oh, I have to commit it. Duh. There's my changes. Hold on a second. I have to first, it's committed. Yep. All right. And then we're going to push it. Hold on a second. Here's the branch. I'm going to publish this branch. Here goes. I heard a ting on my phone. That means something is up there waiting for me. Aha, look at this. Changes, right? So let me go and check it out.
Oh.
And then I can make comments or I can look at what the code was. Look, it says, this is the change that was made. Check it out. So that means if somebody came over here and did something, they changed this. There it is. Well. This looks different from the original. Let's see. I added the span. I made it bigger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why. Look, see, the red was the original, and the green is the new. And it looks like some extra spaces in there. All right, so I'm going to create that pull request. There you go. And there it goes. It's now merging. There's no conflicts. Yay, merge it. I'm the leader, so I own it. So I can just say whatever I want, and I can say yes. If it was someone else, you'd be waiting for me to approve it right now. And it has been successfully merged and closed. All right, then it says what the changes are and everything else. And that means that that's closed. There aren't any current pull requests. So let's go take a look and see if it did anything. And sometimes you got to refresh because remember, it's the internet. So it's going out there. Let's see if it did anything. Well, one way I could do it, of course, is I could view the underneath the covers with my dev tools. Elements. Here we go. And look at this and see if it has the span. So it's not there yet. Let's go ahead and refresh.
Probably takes a bit, yeah.
It takes a while because it's going through the whole internet. Remember, the internet's it's cached somewhere.
So I have probably a dumb question.
No such thing as a dumb question.
Okay. so so on DeviantArt, used to be able to, I'm not sure if you're able to now, but you could change like the look of your about page or whatever, and you could put I'm not sure what it's called because it's like, you put slash and like header and everything in there, and then you can change it however you want. You can put links in there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
By the
like
way, look,
HTML
it
or?
changed.
Oh, it did. Okay.
There it is.
There it is.
In our YouTube channel, and it big and but hey, look, it just did larger just for that, and everything else went to normal.
Oh wow, yeah.
Ta-da!
Uh
Done. Yes, and so I'm sorry. Continue again what you were saying.
um so on the site, you're able to like adjust anything in these boxes however you want. You could put links in it, you could put a certain type of header, pictures, whatever you want in it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
As long as there's like a link to it or something. Is that like
Yep.
HTML or is that CSS? Like what is that I'm doing?
That's a good question actually. So let's
Because it
let's go to
feels
that.
like coding, but I don't know.
Different there's different parts of the coding. So HTML is when you use these tags to make something happen. Those tags will do things like p paragraph. This is called unlisted, like a list. A
Mm-hmm.
list item, li is a list item. A div is a like a division, so to speak. It's like an area, container, a box,
Okay.
a body, a header. What else can we do? Navigation elements, nav, for example. Um, iframes, that means that we're bringing in like maybe inside of there a video to, like a little, you see that video thing over there? That's called an embedded video. You probably have heard about those before. You
Yeah,
can embed
absolutely.
videos in there. So it'd be something like that. Or like the IMG is an image. So let's look. I don't know if I have any IMGs in here, but I might have some IMG. IMG would be an image to bring it straight in. And I could arrange things. But what CSS does, and let's go back to code. There's my images and all that good stuff over here. What CSS does, it basically gives instructions on how the behavior on the item. So the main area will be this margin, that font. The event logo will have that width. It'll be a block. That means that when they say block, that means it stands by itself and there's going to be immediately a space right afterwards. If I say inline, that means that the next item that follows will come right next to me. That's just an example of where CSS comes into play. See, in CSS, I could put a pointer to an image in some CSS, but for the most part, it's the image itself that'll have a CSS attribute that says how to deal with the image. Like, make sure that image is this size, it's this width, is this margin. Maybe it's chopped up in a particular way, and you could even do sometimes animations in here as well. There's some
Okay.
commands to do animations. Like, remember like hovering over a text and then it does funky things like turns into a finger and all that stuff. That
Mm-hmm.
happens here in CSS. There are so many CSS commands that will do things. So, for example, I can do like a hover thing. I wonder if I have any hover things over here. Let's find out if I have any hover. Hover. Okay, so there's a hover. So if I hover over a link, it'll
Mm-hmm.
turn underline when I hover it. Let's go see if that happens right. Check it out. See that? I hovered over it, underline, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, if I don't need to underline, if I didn't do that hover command and I did a regular link, it'd be underlined, whether I like it or not, right? I'd have to go in CSS and say no underline. But I wanted to underline when I hover. Isn't that cool? So that's animation. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So I
So
probably was doing some very low key HTML kind of stuff on there because there was a
look at
lot of
that.
trial and error in a lot of those paragraph things.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that A is for all. A means anchor. All A links, those
Mm-hmm.
HTML links are called anchors. So all of the A's had a hover turn underline. So you notice everything that was a link of any kind
Right.
turned underline. It didn't matter whether or not they were blue or they were a different type. And even this guy who I did differently, it didn't matter. All that stuff happened from that.
Okay.
Hey, so this turned out to be a little bit of an HTML session right here. But that's what CSS does. And then after CSS, well, that's why there's actual JavaScript. The actual script is when you need to go beyond that.
Oh.
So, oh yeah, so they can get what. By the way, this script that you're looking at is actually generated. There's a different program that you write something. It's called TypeScript, something simple. You
Mm-hmm.
write the code in something simple, and then they do what's called a transpilation, which means it takes simple English languagey type stuff and converts it into the more complex Java script that does all this funky stuff. So when you see something like this, it's like, holy smokes.
Yeah, I'm looking at it already, and I'm like
Look at
so
that code. Now, I
confused.
didn't really write that code. This one I grabbed this from Sessionize. Remember these
Okay.
guys? Let me show you Sessionize. Sessionize.com. By the way, we're going to add that. Sessionize. Sessionize, by the way, if you want to be a speaker and you want to have your stuff put out there.
I'll put a link to Sessionize on here in there.
Microsoft. Hey, where's my MSN?
I put it on the little small things.
Okay, good. I'm not sure why it's making me get mad at Sessionize right now. No thanks. Here, go. Nice to see you again. You know the drill. Once you've registered, we'll let you in. All right, fine. Last time we used this. Go. No thanks. Why won't it let me go in? There we go. Yeah, I'm in. There we go. So here's what I did in Sessionize, right? I can actually have my speeches, my presentations and everything else all set up. Put my tagline, put a profile, my awards, or any of that stuff that's in here, right? And then people who are looking for speakers can come and find me, or if there's like a meeting out there and they say, hey, we're taking meetings, enter your Sessionize. I can from here apply to events. I don't have any current events, but I had other past events, for example. See that? These are all the events I've done. Really cool. So now I can basically be a presenter for anywhere in the world from that. All right. But so all that stuff is built with the same kind of tool. So Sessionize gave me this right over here. All right. So I'll see all that code right over there. But they did that. However they did that, I don't really give a hoot. All I know is when I dropped it into my session, all I had to do on my end over here to use it. Let's watch how I used it. On Sessionize. It's not here. It's going to be in schedule. Right? In the schedule, I simply look at this. See that? Sessionize.com. I could actually call that JavaScript directly, or I can call it like this. They gave me a URL to link. It's called an API. It's an API. Basically, it's a application information. Basically, I talk to it and it gives me back information. So I talk to it with my script. This thing will respond and do whatever it is that has to be done. In this particular case, let's go see what it gives me. It gives me this. You see the schedule?
Okay, yeah.
I didn't have to build that. That script that you saw, that one line of code that says API, go to this URL, gave me all of this.
Oh my goodness.
But that script that you saw behind that JS, I could have downloaded it, just so I don't have to connect to them. And that would have also given me all of this. So in that one line, I was able to get all that, or I could have just brought in the whole code, which would have given me the same thing. But at least if I let them handle it, if they change it, I don't have to do anything. The change automatically takes effect. Get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not hard. right? And it's all in the cloud. I haven't gone anywhere. None of the only thing is this is local in my machine when I'm editing it. But this didn't even have to be local in my machine. I could have been using a session. They have this one could have been on a Mac or any program or any kind of other machine. But in this particular situation, I could have used what's called a virtual version of this Visual Studio. And somewhere there's a virtual little container where the code is actually kept, and I actually worked on it and did all this stuff and saved it somewhere.
Oh, wow.
Because after all, once I put it into here, right? If I go back over here to code, that's the latest version of that code, right? So let's go here to this index, and we're going to see over here, there's the code. So that means if I lose it right now on my machine, my whole machine went gone tomorrow, all I have to do is come back here and get it. And what's cool is I have version control, which means I can go back. Oh, no, I don't want the latest. I want the one that I did 3 times ago because that's really the good one. Everything I did now was a mess. I need to get rid of it. I can actually go back and get history of any of this stuff. Because see, look, it's going to show me. Well, basically, it'll have history that's on here right now. This is just showing all the open ones. Let's go see if I can look at my history over here. Go back to the code. Oh, there are the branches. Remember, you see the branches over here? Let's go see. Back to code. Let me go find the history. I forget where they put it. I think they moved my cheese. History is here somewhere. Oh, environments, languages. I got to go look for that again. It used to be over here. Very simple. Little insights. Security. The wiki's when you want to put instructions. Organize the projects to deal with actions, so I can do special kinds of actions. The pull requests, the filters. I can say, here we go. All pull requests, not is open. Take that out. There we go. There's my history. Look at all the stuff I've done. So I can go back and say, okay, let's look at that one. What happened? Right? So I can look at that. I can look at the files changed. Check it out. See that?
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's
I can
pretty
see
that's
all
pretty
the stuff that
convenient.
I've done before. I can review the changes. I can also go and get back the copies. I can jump to it and grab it.
Okay. So
So
this is $4 a month or
$4 a month if I want to have it on the web.
okay.
I mean, I can
So
play with code for my heart's content for free and do the code and then give the code to somebody else, or take that code and drop it into GoDaddy if I have GoDaddy hosting.
Oh,
But
okay.
if I am doing GoDaddy hosting, I'm paying them anyway, right?
Right.
If my own machine is hosting, then I have to do all that rigmarole for my machine to host, and that's different. That's
Mhm.
actually painful. I don't want that because I don't want to leave my machine all day and let it be attacked. I'm going to put it someplace in the cloud
Safe,
that's
yeah.
safe. You got it.
So, okay, so I bought my domain. So the
Yep.
next step I would do is go on this site or would I go back to GoDaddy?
Well, firstly, you bought your domain. You got that. Your
Yeah.
next step is to go to this site, make sure you have an account,
Mhm.
right? And then you'd have to set up. You'd have to get the code and put it here. You'd have to
Okay.
create a new project. And then if you have sample code from somewhere, you'd have to upload it here somehow. And that somehow could be like this Visual Studio program,
Mhm.
right? Visual Studio Code is what this is. This is one way to do it. Or there's manual ways to do it also. And there's also right in here, you can actually edit right here. But it's just like web pages. Just drag and drop or copy paste, however you want. There's so many ways to skin this particular cat. Speaking of cats, right? The idea, of course, is that's the next step. Once that's done, then in settings, you would go to pages and set up your page. That's where it's going to tell you here $4. right? And then you have to give it your information about. Hold on. Then you have to give it your information, the DNS and all that good stuff. And then that's it. Then you publish and you're done. Well, not exactly, but you remember, see all that steps. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of like little itty bitty technical type steps to do. Once you get used to it, it's real easy, right? But the kicker is to get in there to be able, once you get started. Once you have a routine going, it becomes very easy to do. And you saw that I was able to quickly make a change. I did that pull request thingy. I just had to remember I had to commit and then publish my branch, and that was it. Not
Okay.
much to it.
Yeah, that's pretty easy for me to understand then, because I've been stuck on the domain part.
Okay. How about it? Okay. That's our class for today.
Thanks, Dad.
Sure thing. All right. Hey, oh, look at this. This is cool. You look like the Flintstones. Doesn't
Oh,
that look like a wheel down over here?
yeah, it
Like
does.
like this is the Flintstone mobile and that's the wheel. We found the Flintstone car. Thank you, Bing. All right. I think that's it. Let's go ahead and let's go into our whatchamacallit,
End
closing
credits.
bumper as our test.
All
And
right.
that'll be the show.
Great.
Thanks, Raquel, for being my shill.
You're welcome, Dad.
Let's keep this show. Let's rename it from test to say a test slash actual show.
Actual show. Well, I
Yes.
mean, I could put like, um, father teaches daughter how to do simple domain website stuff or something.
Oh yeah. So father shows daughter domain website stuff. It's not exactly simple though. That you saw there was quite a few steps in here. It wasn't
Right.
exactly like we could give this to Nana and say, "Hey Nana, can you please put a PR on my website?"
Well, you
You
can
know?
barely give her a computer or a smartphone as it is, so.
Yeah. I mean, so it's not exactly that simple, but it's like process follow. It's not that hard. It's not rocket
Yeah,
science.
thank goodness. All right.
All right.
Well, goodbye, Internet.
Goodbye, internet. We'll see you later.